name is Zuza Engler. I teach a body of work that I call Moving with Life, which brings together conscious movement, dance, with inner work, supported and inspired by Gestalt and other somatic approaches. It's held in a spiritual context as a path of awakening, and we do it in community and often in nature. In a movement class, I will always invite the emotional layer. I will always, in my guidance, make space for whatever feeling is in the room or in a person's body, without pushing or having an agenda, just to open space for the feeling body. This movement practice is not just about moving, it's about feeling the movement, actually inhabiting the movement moment, and allowing it to express what's moving in me as this human, and maybe even the bigger reality that's moving me in this life, or moving through me, or manifesting as me. So I will ask, like, what's happening in your heart right now? If your heart could move, what would you move with? If you allow the purpose of your life to be expressed in movement, what would you move like? If you work with a relational difficulty with a partner, there's systems and practices that we can set up for boundaries and the fear of rejection and the fear of engulfment and all those psychological issues that are kind of hard to work with talking about them, but in movement they're so apparent. I mean, it's very clear. I'm moving toward, or I'm moving away, or I'm moving against. And how can we negotiate this place of having autonomy, having my own dance, but also being open to you, and not just in the dance, but in my life? How can I know what I'm about and be connected to my heart and my center, and supported by my own ground without shutting you out? And on the other hand, how can I have a relationship with you without shutting me out? Because that's another thing we do. Nothing is really required except my willingness to be here. Like, be here, really. To pay attention, at least to come back to being here often. And of course, this is a free-form movement situation, so no steps to follow and no choreography. You can be as uncoordinated as you like. Some people come and for a year or two stand in the room at the periphery and just watch. How can therapy be done without the body? I will never understand. The body in motion is such an incredible shortcut to what matters, to the heart of the matter, to what the person actually needs to be working with at the moment. So for a while I was doing movement classes and workshops as one thing I was doing, and an individual work with people based in Gestalt and embodied practices. There was another stream of my work. But I quickly realized that the inner work, however healing it can be one-on-one, and some people need it, obviously, not to say anything bad about that, but it gets accelerated and potentiated somehow in community. When combined with movement and held in a spiritual context, something happens with the movement field that's like magic. And people make leaps and changes the way that I've never seen in one-on-one work. I had these longer workshops, and especially the year-long program, where movement is part of the work we do, but learning how to be with my own process is another piece. Learning how to be with another person is part of the process in movement, but also in presence. Learning how to read the room, how to move, how to know I'm safe, and how to work with anything that gets in the way of living a full, connected and spirited life. It's somatic therapy, which actually is somatic, which actually involves the whole person, the full body expression, all the issues that we have to work with in this lifetime. And because, especially in the longer programs, people are trained how to show up for it, we can accompany each other on the way, quite a long way. My spiritual home is in Vajrayana, Tibetan Buddhism, because it's a tantric approach that nothing to do with sex, an approach that takes everyday experience as material for awakening. Like every experience is an opportunity to wake up, rather than leaving experience to wake up, which is another honorable way to go about it. It's kind of like descending into this life, this body, this moment, and waking up in the midst of it. I want to be here. I want to be here with me. I want to be here with you. I want to know how to navigate this territory of love and loss that we live in. I am all for immanence, i.e., working with what's here, taking every moment of experience as a portal into understanding, opening, compassion, magic, rather than trying to transcend the human mess and live in some la-la land that doesn't exist. It's false transcendence, because then we come back into the dance room and move with other people, and then we go home and have our partners and kids and parents to deal with. And I wanted to bring all of that into the work. Nature is simple. As humans, we're complicated and socially awkward a lot, and not sure if and how to belong. When I'm outdoors, I know that I'm part of this world. I know that I'm held by the sky and supported by the earth, and inspired by grass and tree and water. It's really a piece that was very essential for me, developing a broader view of what this work is. Because the human world is only part of the world. The human world is embedded in this world of natural presence, which of course is a manifestation of the capital P presence that holds us all in this vast embrace. One of my teachers used to say that realization is easy. It's integration that's the real work in a human life on the earth. Right? It's easy to have a moment of opening or bliss or cosmic love. But how do I bring it in through my body and into my life and into my relationships, into my workplace, in a way that transforms my existence? The work of embodiment is like returning to our natural dignity, to our indigenous dignity as humans. And if people listened to body and heart more, I think we would have a better world. We would have less injustice, less greed, less aggression in the world. Because this work really is healing. Before I started dancing, a long time ago in my 20s, I felt like I was living a life that wasn't my own. Like I was behind a glass wall and I couldn't touch this kind of movie that was happening in front of my eyes, but I couldn't quite jump through the wall and join the world of the living. And then after I started dancing, I noticed that I more and more arrived in my body. Like I arrived in my life. And I did a lot of personal work with Gestalt and with pre and perinatal trauma resolution. But gradually, I started noticing that somehow I am now centered in my own heart, and that I know myself in a way that I hadn't ever before, and that I can actually relate in a way that's genuine and real. And yes, sometimes it doesn't work. I'm totally a work in progress. I've made many messes in my life. But the understanding that I am not just my biography, that I am something bigger than that, a living, moving process that's happening moment by moment. Somehow it helps to remember that. I really don't know where I would be without this practice. I feel so lucky having found a way to be embodied in this life and to actually be here in this life before I die, and to have found a work that is completely nourishing and satisfying to me, that obviously helps other people land in their lives.